Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Race to 100. I'm one of your hosts, Neil Batang.
I'm Rix Thorcell.
And today we are going to talk about
the White House Correspondence Dinner. And this is episode number 7, by the way.
episode number 7.
You guys keeping track. So the White House Correspondence Dinner happened, and that was an event where you had all the major figures of the news media and politicians. You had actresses and actors going. You had Will Smith, Aretha Franklin, like all sorts of people showing up to this event to hear the president give his last comedic address to everyone. And there's always a host as well. And the host follows up the president by doing a comedy monologue that tries to be as funny as the president. Now, I don't know, have you ever seen the president give his little bit on the White House Correspondence Dinner in the past?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times. I mean, it was trending all over the internet.
He's a funny guy.
When he trolled Donald Trump or spoke of Kanye West briefly. So I'm familiar with the president's bit at the Correspondence Dinner.
Yeah, so the big thing is like the president's addressed everyone.
Yeah.
But sort of second tier and people who tend to be left out are the hosts. Now the hosts tend to get a lot of, let's say, crap.
Yeah, flack. We can say flack, for lack of a better word.
Because they're normally not as funny as the president. Did you know that the president has like something like a dozen professional comedians working on the speech?
Yeah.
They do over 500 jokes and only like 5% of them make it into the whole thing. So this year anyway, it was President Barack Obama's final correspondence dinner, and the host that they selected was Larry Wilmore, who is also the host of Comedy Central's The Nightly Show. Correct, which tends to focus around issues of race and the black experience in humorous light. So we had a chance to, I looked at it live. I was watching it, a C-SPAN live, and taking a look at it while it was going on. But I thought it would be a good idea to go back and wait a little while for time to pass and objectively look at what this was like. So I guess what's your quick take on Larry's performance?
Overall, it was very entertaining. He did his thing. I liked how no one in the media or in the celebrity world was safe from his humor. He tried to call out as many topics and varying subjects in the amount of time that he had, from our subjective media outlets.
Okay, so you're given like a general overview, but like what struck you about, was it good or was it bad? What do you think?
He was entertaining, so I guess
he was entertaining.
That makes it good.
Okay,
that makes it. He did his job.
It's funny because like the first time that I was watching it, it was, you can't really beat the president when it comes to comedy. Not this president, anyway. And so he came on, and when I was watching it live, I was like, "Oh my God, this is awful."
Yeah.
And I don't say that to be mean or anything, but I'm like, none of this is anywhere near the professional level of Barack Obama. But again.
Okay, so you're saying his humor wasn't the most professional.
For me, while I was watching it live, it fell flat.
It fell flat.
It fell flat.
Okay.
Because it seemed like a lot of what he was trying to do was in poor taste, I guess.
In poor taste. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because really, do you want to talk about Barack Obama killing people? There was a joke that was something to the extent of, "You killed Osama bin Laden. Mm-hmm. Who are you killing tonight?" Or raining down bombs like Steph Curry, that sort of thing.
With the
drone for me, when I was watching it the first time, I wasn't too thrilled about.
So basically, you thought it was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Sadistic, mortifying. It was a little too dark. The humor was a little too dark for your taste.
It was a little dark. Now, that changed when we watched it again, like a week and a half later.
Yeah.
I actually thought he wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I enjoyed some of his bits, and not having to compare it with another act on its own, I thought it was pretty decent. Was there any part that stood out to you that was worth bringing up?
I mean, Donald Trump trolls are always amusing. Everyone tries to take a stab at him comedically when they get the chance, and I think he definitely did a good job of that, calling out Ted Cruz over and over and over. He really went in on Ted Cruz as well.
Yeah, that was the bit that even watching it the second time was like,
I was like, okay,
you're dragging it out a little bit with the Zodiac Killer.
Again, I personally really liked how he called out our subjective media outlets, but I guess the part to me that stood out the most was when he used the N-word to refer to Obama at the end of the dinner. That was for me. That was kind of that was awkward. I don't know if I'd ever be brave enough to do that in a room full of Caucasian Americans at a White House dinner.
I feel like that's the only time that an African American would be comfortable doing something like that.
That's true. I mean, I guess I didn't
in a
see
professional
it,
setting.
I didn't see it coming, you know, and it was just like the setting. Like he said this to Obama in front of a room full of professionals wearing nothing but tuxedos and very nice dresses, and I was just like, not exactly sure if that's something I would do or I would co-sign. I mean, I get the humor behind it, but ultimately
there was mixed reaction from
it was like
Al Sharpton came out.
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton was like, you know, we're trying not to use the N-word at all here, and it doesn't even have its place in a comedy setting. So I don't know.
I mean, if there's any place, some can argue that it does and it does not. However, I definitely, and I've never said this before, but I agree with Al Sharpton that words shouldn't have been used in that type of setting. But ultimately, Larry Wilmore did his thing. It was entertaining overall. I'm not going to take away from how good it was because of that one awkward moment.
Yeah. So I think in hindsight, it lived up to par with some of the other comedians who I've seen do the White House Correspondence Dinner. And honestly, I also think that it was a good idea to have somebody, a comedian, who is on the national scene, has his own television show, who speaks to issues of race, and for him to bring that in. I'm glad that he was authentic in being able to continue that trend. I mean, for the people who disliked it, even if the president disliked it, he's had to have watched the nightly show before, so he would have to know what he's getting into. And
he made a Cosby reference. I'm like, come on, guys, really?
Oh my goodness, Larry Wilmore on a show hates Cosby.
Really?
Oh, he never. Every time he gets an opportunity to talk about Bill Cosby and what a horrible human being he is, he does.
That is absurd, man. Absurd.
So yeah, he's gonna have his place in the legacy of the White House Correspondence Dinner, and
Larry Wilmore,
yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's another sign that this is a conversation that's going to happen. What I was going to say is that I don't think that without a black president, you would have had Larry Wilmore doing his bit.
Of course not.
I do not think there was any way that a white president would ever select Larry Wilmore to host the White Correspondence Dinner.
I don't know why he's so serious about
I'm dead serious, man.
We know. You don't have to tell them something they already know.
Goodness. So this, in regards to a historical perspective, I think that this was a very good thing.
It was a little too, you know. We know it wouldn't have been that cool.
Oh my goodness!
We'll use the word cool. It was a very cool dinner. You know what I'm saying?
It was a cool dinner.
I don't think it would have been as cool if the president weren't black.
To be perfectly honest, I didn't know some of the terminology that Larry was using. I got a lot to learn.
Yeah, he had to open up our Urban Dictionary app on the side and say, "What does this mean?"
That's right.
Mean? But
Urban Dictionary, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Progressive, eye-opening. You know, again, it's another way of showing that the United States is on the progress.
Well, we'd like to think anyway. I mean, at the very least, we have somebody who is speaking about these issues in an honest way, and sometimes even a funny way, which you need a little bit of humor to be able to show the true colors of this country. So with that, I think we're done with this episode, and we will catch you next time on the Race to 100. Peace.